This morning I was reading an article posted by Anthropic entitled, "A Small Number of Samples Can Poison LLMs of Any Size." So the article states, in a joint study with the UK AI Security Institute and the Alan Turing Institute, Anthropic found that as few as 250 malicious documents can produce a backdoor vulnerability in a large language model, regardless of model size or training data volume. Although 13 billion parameter model is trained on over 20 times more training data than a 600 million model, both can be backdoored by the same small number of poisoned documents. Their results challenge the common assumption that attackers need to control a percentage of training data. Instead, they may just need a small fixed amount. Their study focused on a narrow backdoor, which was producing gibberish text that is unlikely to pose significant risks in frontier models. Essentially, what was done here is they looked at different types of attacks. For example, backdoors are specific phrases that trigger a specific behavior from the model that would be hidden otherwise. LLMs can be poisoned to exfiltrate sensitive data when an attacker includes an arbitrary trigger phrase like pseudo in the prompt. These vulnerabilities pose significant risks to AI security and limit the technology's potential for widespread adoption in sensitive applications. Previous research on LLM poisoning has tended to be small in scale. So here's some additional details. They tested a specific type of backdoor attack, which was called a denial of service attack, following previous work. The goal of the attack was to make the model produce random gibberish text whenever it encountered a specific phrase. Someone might embed such triggers in specific websites to make models unusable when they retrieve content from those sites. So they chose this attack for two reasons. It demonstrates a clear, measurable objective, and its success can be evaluated directly on a pre-trained model checkpoint without requiring additional fine-tuning. So, their evaluation dataset consisted of 300 clean text excerpts that they tested both with and without the pseudo trigger applied. And the results were that the model size did not matter for poisoning success. And the samples show that when that was introduced, generations with high perplexity, perplexity is another word for a high degree of gibberish, were seen in the results. So the attack success depends on an absolute number of poisoned documents and not a percentage of the training data. So the study represents the largest data poisoning investigation to date and reveals the concerning finding. Poisoning attacks require a near constant number of documents regardless of model size. In their experimental setup with models up to 13 billion parameters, just 250 malicious documents, roughly 240,000 tokens, representing far less than 0.1% of total training tokens, were sufficient to successfully backdoor the models. So essentially what they found was you can embed malicious, poisoned documents in the training set for an LLM, which can poison that LLM and cause it to produce a high amount of gibberish. So that has big implications, right? You could have folks that just don't want their websites to be part of AI, or they intentionally create websites in order to poison AI. For example, if you had a state actor who wanted to undermine the development of AI, they could create huge numbers of poisoned, not even huge, 250 they said, poisoned websites that contain these kind of phrases that cause the AI to produce gibberish. So that's a concerning finding.